encourage them.
Okay, so as you see, we're now currently broadcasting live on air. This is the Animal Rights March protest, and it was currently heading from Marble Arch all the way to Downing Street near Parliament Square, where they'll be doing speeches. Welcome onto the channel. My name is Louis Errington. I'm just going to make sure the stream is set up properly. So yes, apologies, we ran into technical difficulty en route, but as we see, they are currently marching towards Parliament Square near Downing Street, where they'll be doing speeches. We're currently down in Westminster. Welcome onto the channel. So the protest is the Animal Rights March, and it's currently heading towards Parliament Square. As we see, there are estimated numbers of about 1,000 protesters marching through London right now, and a lot of police are in attendance too. As you see, the police are currently guarding a steakhouse.
Stop the slaughter! 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 Blood, blood, blood on your hands! Blood, blood, blood on your hands! Blood, blood, blood on your hands! Blood, blood, blood! Angus Steakhouse, go to hell! Angus Steakhouse, you are to blame! Angus Steakhouse, you are to blame! Angus Steakhouse, you are to blame! Animals do not want to die! Animals do not want to die! It's violence! It's violence! It's violence! It's blood, blood on your hands! Blood, blood, blood on your hands! Angus Steakhouse, blood on your hands!
All the blood that you have spilled!
Where's your conscience? Where's your guilt?
All the blood that you have spilled!
Where's your conscience? Where's your guilt?
All the blood that you have spilled!
Where's your conscience? Where's your guilt?
All the blood that you have spilled!
It's not food!
It's violence! It's violence! It's violence!
Torture, death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
Torture, death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
Torture, death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
Demand, make a connection, you buy!
Animals die!
You buy!
Animals die!
You buy!
Animals die! Animals die!
Animals die! Die their rights!
We will not give up the fight!
Animals die! Die their rights!
We will not give up the fight!
What do we do when animals are under attack?
Unite and fight back!
What do we do when animals are under attack?
Unite and fight back!
Torture, death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
Torture, death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
Death and exploitation!
Profit for this corporation!
please.
It's not fair, says the next guy.
It almost kicked off outside the steakhouse.
Yeah, I know. Always good news, aren't
I'm going to try head to the front over there. There's something going on there. So as we just saw, the police were guarding the entrance to the steakhouse. There is another one in front of me, and there are more police just standing outside. And the protesters are currently marching towards Parliament Square, where they'll be doing speeches. Welcome onto the channel. My name is Louis Errington, and I hope you enjoy all the content that we cover. Be sure to subscribe if you're also new to the channel to stay up to date with live, impartial news content. So they're currently outside the Steak and Company now.
Stop the slaughter! Stop the slaughter! Stop the slaughter! Stop the slaughter! Stop the slaughter!
Please rejoin the march. If we can keep moving now. If we can keep moving now, please. Please rejoin the march. Will we please rejoin the march? Will we please rejoin the march now? Please rejoin the march now.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Please rejoin the march.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
It's not me!
Rejoin the march, please!
It's not me! It's not me! Please it's not me! Thank you! Shame on you!
Shame on you!
Shame on you! It's not me!
Religion is not an excuse!
Excuse me, madam, would you like to say a few words to the camera about today's protest? I'm an independent journalist. I cover a broad variety of stuff. We're live on air with 400 people. Okay, that's fine. Excuse me, madam, would you like to say a few words to the camera about today's protest? We're live on air right now. Okay. Excuse me, sorry.
Allez, ça fait toi!
Eh Julie,
Excuse me, madam, would you like to say a few words to the camera about today and the protest?
We would like to see animal rights because I think all animals deserve to have rights, whether it be farm animals, all sorts of animals. We don't believe that animals should be treated with such horrific violence, whether it be from, like I said, farm animals or animals in testing, animals for everything. Humans are monsters to animals. Why?
What demand would you like to see from Keir Starmer?
I want Keir Starmer to hold up to his manifesto where he said he would phase out animal testing. Do it. Phase out animal testing like you promised and do more for animals.
Thank you very much for your time on camera today. Thank you. further about today's protest? I'm an independent journalist.
Not right now.
Broadcast over
Sorry,
things.
mate.
Okay.
Yeah, not right
Later.
now. Catch me at the square.
Okay, thank you very much.
One struggle, one fight. 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 For the animals. For the animals. For the animals. For the animals. For the animals.
The longest walk backwards. Yeah.
Just like us! Just like us!
We'll go down, yeah. Follow the flow of traffic.
Come on, Evie. Evie, come on.
Smash the locks and liberate! Open up the cage door! Smash the locks and liberate! Animal liberation! Now!
Two of the steakhouses almost kicked off. I got good footage of that. Yeah. I almost came at the perfect timing. There's much happening earlier.
Animals do not want to die! 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 Animals do not want to die!
Where's James?
They're going to be doing speeches at the square. They're going to be doing speeches at the square. I got such good footage outside the steakhouse. Oh yeah, by the way, I applied for a DJ, so I knocked on the front door and then everything needed required, so it should probably take a month or so to get it. It's really good.
Animals do not want to die! Animals do not want to die!
I wonder if they're going to close Horse Cars Parade for this. Because horses are out at the moment. And normally they bring the horses in because they're afraid of loud noises or something.
Animals do not want to die! Animal liberation!
Yeah.
Animal liberation!
Where's that?
Animal liberation!
Really?
Animal liberation!
Oh wow. Should I head up there after?
Yes!
Still happening up there.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
How long ago?
Yes! Animal liberation!
Somerset House.
Yeah!
I'll check it out.
Animal liberation!
So I'll ask you because I'm
No!
It's an hour.
an hour ago. Yeah. Try and get some footage.
Not ours! Just like us! 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 Animal liberation! Now! Animal liberation! Now! Animal liberation! Now! Yes! Yes!
How are you? Very good to see you. How are you? You okay? Yeah, very good, thank you. I reckon they're gonna. I got really good footage outside the steakhouse. Yeah, it almost kicked off. Muskers horse cars program is filming. So yeah, we're gonna be. Apparently there was a fire also just up the Strand somewhere. Yeah. Really Somerset House. Yeah.
They're all dead again.
Yeah. No, what? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Good to see you, though. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
public.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very good to catch up though. I've been nearly 20,000 subs on YouTube now, and I've just applied for NUJ, so my application is processing at the moment. So hopefully by a month's time I'll be a member, temporary freelance. Sorry? Yeah, so I'm paying. So it says payment and yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I showed them all my work, all my payments, everything. Yeah, definitely.
So you
Yeah.
get your credentials with them.
Yeah.
You can get other credentials elsewhere.
Yeah. Elsewhere too. Anyway, very good to see you, bro. Yeah. I'll let's talk about it there. I'm just gonna get some good footage, but yeah, definitely. I'm gonna stand there and get a good crowd size. I reckon there's about 1,000 people here today.
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah. 1,005. Wow. Wow. Do you know where Busker is? Where? Busker, how are you doing? You alright? Very good to see you. It almost kicked off outside the steakhouse.
Yeah?
Yeah, 2 of the steakhouses. They were just like screaming and yelling. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got good footage. It was incredible. Yeah.
Shut down the whole of Horse Guards.
They shut down Horse Guards, yeah. I noticed. So they're all heading up the square. So they head up this way quickly. Parliament Square quickly.
I will do if it passes. We've got a big inflatable pig coming.
Facebook page. How was Horse Guards today? Did you get any good footage today?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Screen live on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Some stuff to use for after.
Inflatable cow.
Inflatable cow. That's 2. Okay. Apparently there was a fire at Somerset House about an hour ago. There was a fire at Somerset House.
Where's that? I don't know where that is.
It's just up the Strand apparently. One of the photographers told me.
Species appropriate human milk. This really is the way forward. Your taste, pleasure, your health, and your planet.
Gonna head up the road. Just cover it for a bit.
Can someone please tell me what trains has got to do with this? Trains? What has it got to
I'd
do
like
with
to introduce you to my new milk. These are my women from my family.
You've been told to move
I
on.
love my
By
women.
the TSG.
I look after them.
They're good to move on.
My family.
They told us to move on.
Gonna
head up this way. So they took down they took the horses away from horse
Yeah,
guards.
because they don't like this going on here, do they?
Yeah, all the noise. Yeah.
This is passing, so horse guards might open back up.
Yeah.
At 75p
I wonder what's up the. So yeah, they're doing speech to Parliament Square. Should we get on camera? Get on camera.
I look after them like members of my family, with a high standard of welfare, so you can trust. Look at these women. They are
I'm gonna get up to the front quickly.
We do shoot the baby boys at birth, but the girls have a good quality organic diet. They're free to roam in green pastures, should the British weather permit. Species appropriate, human milk, better for your taste, pleasure, your health, and your planet. Please, choose be selfish, choose human milk.
Alright, again. See you, bro. Yeah.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two, one, two, one, two. Yeah, my medal. One, two. One, two, one, two. One, two. One, two. Hello.
So as you see, we are currently down at Parliament Square, and the protesters have marched from Marble Arch through Westminster and have ended up outside the Houses of Parliament. Thank you for tuning into the stream. This is where they're going to be doing all the speeches now. It did kick off slightly earlier outside the two steakhouses, and we got a lot of footage on camera. So thank you for tuning into the stream. I hope you enjoy the content, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can stay notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. We'll be live at Speaker's Corner tomorrow. We'll continue this stream until all the speeches are over, but they walked past Horse Guards Parade and they shut down Horse Guards Parade temporarily to let us march past because the horses are afraid of loud noises, so they had to shut it down for a tiny bit. And then estimated numbers I'd say would be probably 1,000, and they're all piling in right now into Parliament Square. So as we see just in front of me, they are all piling in to Parliament Square.
1, 2. Hello, you lovely people! So glad you could make it. How do you know if someone's a vegan? Because they'll turn up with thousands of their mates and they'll parade through your streets and they'll tell you about it. Thank you for coming. We've got some amazing speakers lined up for you. We have got Kat Chan, who's been a very active young lady for a fair time now, been arrested quite a number of times. We have Len Sawyer, currently working with the Hunsabs and the Badger Cull, activist for many, many years. We've got Andy Atkinson, Not Your Mum, Not Your Milk, here to talk to you about language and the history of veganism. We have Leah Dehagan from the plant-based medical professionals, also a long-term activist. We have Louise Bryan. Louise Bryan has been active for 35 years. Now Richard Brown, that is not stopping us. And finally, to head up these speakers today, our speaker is Mr. Dr. Roger Yates. If we're ready to go, then I would like to bring on Kat Chan. Everybody would like to hear what she's got to say. So yes, please. Kat's been arrested 17 times, as I said before. She's worked with many organisations. She's fully active, great believer in direct action, and her message is especially for you to get out there and to do something. Ladies and gentlemen, Kat Chan.
Hi, I'm Kat, and as Alan said, I've been arrested 17 times. I'm not going to be known as a vegan portal,
Not to kick him for that.
Yeah, we'll just run to a shop.
the reason why I have sacrificed my life in 17 times, not including a lot of opportunities where I have already my home and stuff, and all the things that I've been doing, is because I am engaged with direct action. Some examples was engaging with direct blocking a rabbit farm subsidiary company and promptly causing that said fur farm to shut down. This was TNS Rabbits, if anyone remembers that monumental campaign. As well as making videos of us spilling milk in a Harrods and another one in a Waitrose, generating millions of views and buzz around these actions. Disrupting major dairy distribution centres, causing cow's milk to have shortages on numerous UK shelves, successfully liberating 23 beagles from the UK's largest industrial puppy breeding facility called Marshall Bioresources, aka MBR Acres. Exposing the RSPCA's Assured scheme and subsequently having them drop all animal flesh recipes from their websites. Now, I can list many more actions that I've done, many more actions that we've done, but I'm mainly here today to validate and clarify this kind of protest called direct action. Now, the Martin Luther King Jr. Centre defines direct action as the use of tactical, non-violent, strategic means to bring an oppressive party into dialogue. So it's a moral force to combat injustice, and it can include many forms, including marches, outreaches, film screenings, workshops, social media posts, civil disobedient disruptive protests such as blockades and lock-on to slaughterhouses, as long as it involves the abolition of injustice. So why do direct action? It's not only to possibly give you a criminal record, but it's allowed huge press coverage of niche animal rights topics not being currently talked about within society. It's allowed speakers from formerly known as Animal Rebellion, now known as Animal Rising, to go up on national television and explain what is wrong with our current archaic traditions and our broken relationship with animals. They've allowed the public sphere to directly engage with our perspective during these viral moments and have them question why we do what we do, sparking conversations both offline and online. They've directly disrupted harmful supply chains and pressured corporate companies into adopting a fully plant-based or complete vegan stance. Now all of this, obviously for the animals and the environment as a bonus too. Now, voting and writing petitions is great and has its own benefits, but how do we expect individuals to create systematic change when the system itself is inherently broken? The only way is to make a stand, to cut through your noise, use your voice to cut through all this noise, and to make a dent in the system through more effective pressure campaigns. If we look throughout history and think of pivotal moments that have changed society's way of thought, what do we think about? We think about the suffragettes petrol bombing mailboxes. We think about the Black Rights Movement and their diner sit-ins and other protests where they endured mass police brutality. We think about the LGBT movement and them smashing windows during the Stonewall riots. We can look back at all these instrumental moments that changed history and realize that sometimes there's an element of violence, but direct action doesn't always have to be this way. Currently, we get more wins and public understanding when we passively resist, when we strive for a peaceful end and to embody a future that we want remaining. Animal Rising take a completely non-violent approach borrowed from the likes of Martin Luther King and Gandhi. Animal Rising get their own explosiveness from public peaceful protest and non-violent direct action to bring about a plant-based systematic change. Personally, all my actions have been non-violent, having provided training, and obviously there's more to these actions than just the front-end facing, attention-grabbing actions, as there's a lot of back-end preparations that come with every protest to ensure safety, outcome goals.
Oh, very good, thank you. How are you? Very good to meet you.
All action takers.
Yes, very good to meet you. How are you?
For example, there's a lot of volunteers that get involved in supporting
speakers.
activists
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
at police stations
How's it been though? All
who
good?
have
Yeah.
court trials or have fines to pay.
I got a
So no matter if you can't get arrested or not, there's always something to do if you want to support the direct action community during action season.
It's good to cover.
Making
Yeah,
a
now
loving
coming this to
community
Youth Flex,
and making the
so-
vegan movement more unified,
really good
close-knit
to-
by unifying all the different activism communities.
I'm just interested in the Speaker's Corner.
Definitely, it's really good to cover. I cover it all the time and get a lot of
It's very
footage there.
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not discouraging
Yeah,
other
it's,
forms of
incredible to go
activism.
down.
Every form has its own place, its own pros and cons, and every form is needed for a complete movement. For example, the effect of having both tame and tension-feeling actions is integral to the radical flank theory and tactic. This means as the more radical part of a movement demands immediate abolishment and pushes boundaries, the more tame groups look more approachable towards the general public. historical movements have started from tame, humble, grassroots beginnings and evolved to them getting what they want and changing the whole world by escalating their protests and highlighting their issues. So therefore, if you value the idea of animal rights being talked about on social media, if you think that liberating beagles from a future of testing and vivisection inspires our movement, if you want to directly impact the lives of animals while building a solid community of like-minded, compassionate individuals, please come see if Direct Action is for you by talking to me or anyone else from Animal Rebellion, or you can email us on our website or contact us through any other social media means. So I'll end with saying, without breaking the rules a little, thinking outside the box and a little civil disobedience, how else are we supposed to move the Overton window and change the hearts and minds of people? Thanks so much for coming. It means a lot to me, and it means so much for the animals. If anyone is in Cambridge next week, from Tuesday to Friday, we have the Beagle plea hearing then, so please come support us. And yes, please come see if Direct Action is for you, because it's changed my life and I've met many wonderful people.
The wonderful Kat Chan. Are we having fun, yeah? Yeah, get on with it. Okay, next speaker for you is the wonderful Lynn Sawyer. Lynn became a vegan animal rights activist in 1994. She'd been a vegetarian for 2 years prior after a misspent youth working on farms and being a hunt supporter. She has done lots of types of activism, from street stalls to demos to direct actions. Whilst heavily involved in the Shack campaign, she was seriously injured after being pulled from a tripod on the A1. She's currently a dedicated hunt saboteur, sabbing both illegal hunting and the badger cull. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you Mrs. Lynn Sawyer.
Thank you very much. It's a real privilege to be asked to speak today, and there are so many fantastic activists here. It's really wonderful to be here. I'll just start a quick bit about myself. Just saying, I come from I've worked in farms, I used to support hunting. If I've become vegan, an animal rights activist, anyone can. And we need to bear that in mind. The people taking the piss when we talk to them about veganism, you never know, you might be planting a seed there. That happened with me, and I've managed it for 30 years and will do till the end of my life. At present, I've just been seeing some reports from today. Cop hunting started in some counties, and subs have been out, and we expect it across the whole country soon. Fox hunting, stag hunting, hare hunting, mink hunting, the hunting of wild beings with dogs by scent for no other reason than sport continues in this country today. There are many forms of activism, and if anyone, is doing other things, it's fantastic. Whatever you're doing, fair play. But if you fancy becoming a hunt saboteur or a monitor, you can contact the Hunt Saboteurs Association, easily found on Facebook. There will be a group near you somewhere. You can contact them, find out about it, and work out whether that's something you want to do. There are other groups, there's hunt monitors, and there are badger protection groups as well. So cub hunting. The hounds are going out on exercise in most parts of the country right now. They're getting to the stage where they're going to be fit enough to put them into covers first thing in the morning or in the early evening, and basically teach them how to hunt foxes. They'll surround the wood, a small wood, with riders and hunt supporters, and they'll create a wall of death. So foxes, the bold foxes, the cubs that are boldest will run through, and the ones that are frightened, terrified, the weaker ones, they'll be ripped to pieces or dug out. And then when we get to November, fox hunting proper starts, which means they basically, the foxes are part of the sporting equipment. They will hunt that fox until he either escapes, he might die later from exhaustion and shock, goes to ground, he might be dug out and bolted to be hunted again, or he will literally be torn apart.
What about abortion?
And hunt
What about babies?
saboteurs and others
What about
go out
babies
into the
being murdered?
field and stop that from
9
happening.
million babies murdered in
Right
the
now as
United
well,
Kingdom.
there's
9
been a
million
renewed
murdered. You're quiet.
fight against stag hunting, which happens in the West Country. There are 3
What about
registered
respect for
packs and
babies?
2 unregistered packs.
What about respect for
And they
babies?
will basically,
Babies are being murdered. There's nothing I'll mention
what
here.
they're doing is that
9 million babies murdered in the United Kingdom. 9 million. And you're here to support animals. What about supporting the babies? What about supporting babies? Listen, God loves you, my friend. I'm here to remind you of Jesus. Jesus died for us. Jesus Christ is coming soon. What about abortion? What about abortion?
He took me to Soho on last night. He took me out drinking and he took me home. He feels bad about it, that's why he's out here.
Talking nonsense.
That's exactly what you did. Don't lie to the people,
Nonsense.
man.
You're talking
You know
nonsense.
you did it.
Jesus
He
is
took me out.
coming.
It was really good.
Jesus is coming.
Now he feels bad.
Jesus is
How do you know
coming.
that?
Home with him.
badgers are
What about abortion? What about what you did?
right now, the hunts are going out, they're blocking their sectors so they don't escape going. Badger diggers are going out and they're killing badgers for fun, taking bets on how long they last in a ring with dogs.
Ability,
And the government,
ability to kill
the
that
badger
baby.
poll continues. It starts on the 1st of June and goes all the
No
way
mention of
through
abortion.
to the 31st of January. In most coal zones in the country. And there are people going out, and it's hard. You know, you're out there in the heat, you're out there in the frost, you're out there in all weathers, trying to protect badgers as well. And why are they killing badgers? For the meat and dairy industry. Because badgers are supposed to pass on bovine tuberculosis to cows. And so therefore, the government, the Tory government, brought this in. And it hasn't stopped, it's still going on. The coals are still going ahead at the moment. So yeah, if you can write to your MP, or even if you live in a coal zone, or even if you don't, there are badgers everywhere. Just have a look at their sets, keep an eye on them, contact your local SAB group, contact the Badger Trust. The other thing I'd just like to mention as well, a lot of my time has been spent fighting the vivisection industry. And I ended up spending more time in court than I did outside labs. And it got, basically got to be very difficult, and the Badger Call came up and I transferred to fighting for wild beings. Now, wild beings are being attacked all over the place. And interestingly, all of these things are linked. Badgers are experimented on. I can remember at Huntingdon Life Sciences, now called LabCorp, walking through that lab, they've got a dairy there. They are working out at these laboratories how to keep factory farmed animals alive long enough so that they can be slaughtered, which slaughter weight can be slaughtered. That was part of, it's not on their website now, but it used to be many years ago. That is part of what laboratories do. They keep the factory farming industry alive. And we need to recognise these connections and how these different forms of oppression intersect. And by the way, fuck fascism. There's no room for fascists in this movement. Just thought I'd get that in. I think that's about all I've got to say, really. I did write it all down, but I managed to leave it behind. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
The wonderful Lynn Sawyer. I tell you what, it's really, really inspiring to stand here and to look across at all of your faces, all of your placards, all of your signs, to see your grit, your determination, your values above everything else. Just give yourself a massive round of applause just for being here. Please don't make this the only activism that you do, which is pretty much the message of today. Now, our next speaker for you is Andy Atkinson. Andy hails, it's also known as Not Your Mum, Not Your Milk on all the socials. Andy hails from Worcestershire and has been vegan for 10 years now. He's a rights-based activist with an emphasis on rights, a concept he feels has almost been forgotten. He's passionate about both preserving and speaking about vegan history and the importance of the language that we use and the claims that we make. These days, he can most often be found on TikTok, spreading the vegan word. I give you Mr. Andy Atkinson.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. It's incredible to see so many people turn out for the National Animal Rights March. It's an honour to address such a passionate and dedicated group of people. Okay, no bad. My bad, sorry, let's start again. Thank you for gathering here today at the National Animal Rights March 2024. It is an honour to address such a passionate and dedicated group, united by our shared commitment to ending the exploitation of animals and achieving their liberation. Today, we stand together with a clear purpose, to advocate for the recognition and respect of animal rights. As we march, protest and speak out, we must remember the profound impact of our words, the significance of our actions, and the importance of remaining open-minded and evolving in our own approach. We possess incredible strength when united. Our collective numbers are substantial. I mean, look around you, and I'm sure everybody knows someone at least that's not here. So just think of how many people we actually have. However, our potential is sometimes diminished by divisions and inconsistencies within our ranks. For example, by refining our language and uniting under a clear, unwavering banner of animal rights, we can drive meaningful change without necessarily increasing our numbers. Clarity of message and unity of purpose are key. A crucial issue we face is a distinction between welfarism and abolition. Many who identify as animal rights advocates still promote welfare-oriented messages. This is not necessarily done maliciously, but often stems from the prevailing narratives that they have encountered. However, this approach dilutes our message and impedes progress. It is challenging to advocate for animals as rights bearers when our discourse focuses primarily on their welfare. We need to shift our language from addressing cruelty and abuse to focusing on the fundamental issues of use and exploitation. If we strive for abolition, then abolition must be the core of our rhetoric. As Tom Reagan wisely said, the fundamental wrong is not the cruelty itself, but the use of animals as a means to an end. Our advocacy must consistently reflect our stance as abolitionists, opposing any form of animal use or exploitation. Not just the most egregious abuses. There is no ethical way to oppress. There is no ethical way to exploit. Any use of animals is a violation of their rights. Our signs, our banners, our memes and online content should unequivocally call for an end of all forms of animal use. Language shapes our thoughts, and welfare-based language perpetuates welfare-based thinking. We must adopt a rights-based vocabulary to align our thinking and messaging with our true goals. In my 10 years as a vegan, I have learned the value of self-improvement and to continuously learn to evolve to be the best activist that I can. While we face many repetitive questions and discussions, remember that for many, our responses are the first exposure to these ideas they've ever had. It is essential to remain patient, concise and knowledgeable, as our immediate audience is not just the one listening, but anyone else in the background. By enhancing how we communicate, we can more effectively educate and inspire others. I urge you all to reflect on your advocacy journey and consider how you can enhance it. Instead of criticising others, let's focus on self-critique. Our movement often emphasises animal cruelty over the fundamental issue of animal use. We must reaffirm that the exploitation of animals is inherently wrong. Recognising them as rights bearers, as again Reagan eloquently put it, the concept of inherent right value is the basis for the concept of rights. And their lives may not matter to you, but each one of them matters to them. Thus, there is no ethical way to use or exploit animals. It is always a rights violation. The reason we are here today is that we have dared to challenge the prevailing narrative and confront cultural speciesism head-on. That bravery and openness must continue. We must be willing to adapt, learn and continuously refine our message. As you leave here today, whether it's by car, train or over dinner later, consider the language you use. Reflect on whether your words, your posts, your t-shirts and your banners truly align with your stance on animal rights. I challenge you to ensure that they do. Align your language with your belief and witness the shift that creates a movement. Together, with a unified voice and clear message, we can drive the change we seek. Let us to commit to promoting abolition, not reform, and to continually improve ourselves in our advocacy. Thank you for your dedication, passion and commitment to the future where all animals are free from exploitation. Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Just bear with me a second. Hello. Can you hear me at the back? Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to move straight along now. Our next speaker is Leila Deharan. Leila is an immigrant from Austria. She is a plant-based nutritionist and social justice activist. With a background in medicine, she pivoted her career due to debilitating migraines. Starting as an animal rescuer, she discovered the healing power of a whole food, plant-based diet, which led her to obtain a master's in clinical and public health nutrition from the University College in London. Leila passionately champions an anti-oppressive approach with animal rights and vegan activism, leading her to found Plant-Based Health Justice, a non-profit social justice charity dedicated to cultivating justice, equity and compassion to create a healthier and more sustainable world for us all. This is Leila Deharan.
Alright, thank you. Hi. Firstly, I'm from Iran, not from Austria. I mean, I'm from Austria, but Iran. I'm from Iran, an immigrant from Iran, but I used to live in Austria. So anyway, I had to say that. It is great to be here with you all. And, I don't know most of you personally, but we share a strong bond. We all care deeply for animals. We are committed to them, to their freedom. We love them, and that is why we are here. We are gathered here to declare our love and demand that the rest of the world stops exploiting our loved ones. And I know this is possible. I know that anybody can go vegan and start caring for animals. I know that because I wasn't born vegan. In fact, 20 years ago, I dreaded visiting my brother because he had a cat. If I saw a dog on the street, I would cross to the other side to avoid them. Now I live actually with 3 cats and 3 dogs. But back then, I was afraid of dogs and cats. I didn't want to touch them. I didn't even want to be close to them because I didn't understand them. I didn't know what was going on in their heads. It was my ignorance that had made me fear them. But all of that changed when my sister bought 2 kittens from a breeder and I was forced to live with them. Well, back then I didn't know anything about breeders. I didn't really know where kittens and puppies came from. That has changed, obviously. So living with those 2 cats opened my eyes. I realized that they were sentient beings with their own personalities, their own agenda. They felt pain and joy. They reacted to sensations. They even reacted to my words. They changed me. They made me realize that we only fear what we don't understand. We only fear those who don't look like us, those who don't act like us. But once we realize, once we realize that they are beautiful, intelligent, amazing creatures, we stop fearing them. We stop harming and exploiting them. But I know we have a long way to go. When I hear that last year the Met Police shot and killed Marshall and Millie, 2 innocent dogs who were just walking with their guardian. When I hear that the Israeli soldiers train dogs, these gentle and caring animals, to attack innocent Palestinians. When I hear that the most moral army in the world steals a puppy from their mother in Gaza, that is when I realize how far we still have to go. When I see that the so-called domestic animals are abused and exploited, then we know that we have a long way to go to make this world better for farm animals. Among the farm animals, chickens are the most slaughtered for meat consumption. In the 5 minutes that I'm talking to you, 1,100 chickens are killed in the UK alone. But we don't care just for the animals in the UK, do we? We care for the pigs slaughtered in China, for the horses abused in rodeos in the US and Canada, for the dolphins hunted and killed in Japan. We also care for the monkeys who died in heat waves in Mexico and India, and for the billions of animals burned alive in bushfires in Australia and California. And for those innocent animals who are being killed and injured during Israeli genocide in Palestine. We care for all of them. Because we know not only are all injustices connected, but also that animals, as the most vulnerable, the most voiceless among us, they pay the highest price in times of human conflict and violence. I need a break. But just because our work is challenging doesn't mean that we should lose hope. Despite the challenges, being here with you in this heat on a Saturday afternoon, it gives me hope. Because despite the challenges, we are committed to animals. And as the anthropologist Margaret Mead famously said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And then look around you. We are not even a small group. It is a lot of us who care for the animals. So today, we are here to change the world and make it better for the animals. And that's why we are not only demanding an end to animal agriculture, we are also demanding that the UK government end fossil fuel funding to fight climate change. We are demanding that the UK government stop sending greyhounds to other countries to be abused. and end breed-specific legislation, and stop arming countries like Israel to help end both the genocide of Palestinians and the environmental destruction which is worsening the global climate crisis. Yes. I know the list is long, but we are demanding an end to all forms of injustice and violence, because animals are the ones who pay the highest price. Because when human greed takes over, animals pay with their lives. And my hope is that today our voices are heard by those who are watching us, that our love for animals inspires them to see that there is another way, that they see that they too can stop fearing animals and make life better for animals by stopping, to take their lives. And I want to finish off with a quote from a Native American elder. We are all brothers and sisters with all living things on this earth. All the animals have red blood just like we do. They breathe the same air that we breathe. They drink the same water that we drink. That is why we call them our relatives. So today, it is a reminder to everyone of this connection, and I hope it is an invitation, that others can join us in protecting our brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Are we still enjoying ourselves? Are we still glad we came? Did we show those people along the way why we're here? Next person I have for you is Louise Ryan. She's got a special place in my heart. Louise really has had quite a remarkable life of action for animals, and we are sure you won't help but be motivated by the things she has to say. Louise has been a vegan and animal rights activist for 35 years, and in her younger days she took part in marches, run-ons and ALF actions. Having been born with cerebral palsy, her ability to walk has deteriorated over the years, but she's now found a new and striking way of taking direct action for animal liberation in her wheelchair. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with the greatest of pleasure I give you Louise Ryan.
Hi everyone, I feel very privileged to be able to speak here today at such a fantastic event, and I'd like to thank the organisers so much for inviting me. I was born with cerebral palsy, and over the years this has reduced my ability to walk so that I am now a wheelchair user. 36 years ago, when I was just 16 years old, I got involved in the animal rights movement. In my younger days, I was able to walk quite long distances. Sometimes this would cause me a lot of pain in my legs, but I would endeavour to take part in marches, run-ons and even some ALF activities. But in more recent years, I have had to use a wheelchair for all but the shortest of distances, and it has been frustrating for me not to be able to take part in the activism that I used to love to be involved in. But then I discovered a new way of being active despite my disability. In September 2022, I was able to take part in an animal rebellion action at Muller Dairy Distribution Centre, where I chained my neck to the steering wheel of a truck, blocking the main entrance for 5 hours. I was worried I may not be able to do the action, as my confidence in myself wasn't very high. But some words of encouragement from other activists, I was fine. I was able to do it, and it felt absolutely fantastic. After After that day, I started thinking of other ways of doing direct action in my wheelchair, using my disability to further the cause of animal liberation. Later that same month, during a national demonstration at MBR Acres, I was arrested after I superglued my hand to the main gate in protest at MBR breeding beagles for vivisection. Five months later, in February 2023, I organised an autonomous action with 4 other female activists at Sukwani Vivisection Laboratory in Ledbury, where we handcuffed ourselves to the gates after using chalk spray to daub anti-vivisection slogans on signs at the main entrance. Then in February of this year, myself and another activist carried out a similar action at the infamous LabCorp animal torture facility near Huntingdon. And about 3 months ago, I used a Stanley knife to destroy a banner at MBR Acres on the eve of the large Operation 1000 protest that was due to take place the next day. I felt that this was my moral duty to destroy the banner as the company were displaying it with the obvious intention of causing distress to protesters with a claim that the beagles at their facility were thriving. I am currently awaiting trial charged with criminal damage, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I am hoping that some important things come from these actions. Firstly, that they will raise public awareness and increase opposition to the use of animals in experiments. Secondly, they will increase pressure on the vivisection industry to end experiments on animals. And thirdly, they will encourage more people to become involved in activism for animal liberation. If I can do activism sitting in a wheelchair, then surely there are lots of able-bodied people who can do it too. I don't expect everyone to be prepared to be arrested, but we can all be active in one way or another to help free our fellow animals from oppression and truly give them their liberation. Thank you. Like myself, everyone has personal barriers, whether they be mental or physical, that could prevent them from being active in the cause of animal liberation. I want people to be inspired by my words and actions, to overcome their barriers and fight for animal liberation to the best of their abilities. Shout, leaflet, expose, tell the truth, take direct action if you can, and above all, never give up.
The very wonderful, the very lovely, and the very determined Louise Ryan. Okay, well, we're not going to keep you here much longer, but it's definitely worth you hanging around for as long as you have. Our final speaker for today is Roger Yates. All the way from Dublin, especially to come and talk to us. Sociologist Roger went vegan in 1979, ran several action groups in the 1980s, served as the Northern Press Officer for the Animal Liberation Front, and now runs the Dublin-based Vegan Information Project. Co-host Still Alive with Ronnie Lee, who's just there, and has a YouTube channel for the Vegan Time Tunnel. He's also available on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Threads and Instagram. The very wonderful the very renowned, in my opinion, Dr. Roger Yates.
Don't be cheering, Ronnie Lee, that's going to spoil my day. Right, before we start, I'd like to thank the organisers. I'd like to thank the organisers for inviting me, but I want to thank them in general too, because organising these things is not easy. I've done it before in the past, and thankfully I don't do it anymore. So how about a round of applause for the organisers? Right, well, as Alan said, I've been vegan for 45 years, but there's loads of vegans now who've been vegan for that long. And there's also loads of people who've been vegan for longer, including Ronnie Lee, a true legend of the movement, 52 years vegan, but there's others too, Angie Wright, Bernie Wright back in Dublin, and we couldn't forget John Cross, 81 years vegan. So all that vegan deterioration stuff is just a load of crap, right? Now, what I said, I'm completely Big Ben now. What I said with the promo to this was that one of my favourite things is to talk to new vegans about their own movement, introduce them to their movement, if you like. And the reason I think that's important is because 9 times out of 10, this movement is far more militant and radical than they knew. And so I just want to kind of go through a few things that get said in this kind of scenario, if you like. So we've got to go back to go forward. We've got to go back to the beginning of the last century, 1900, 1910, and the vegetarians. Because the vegetarians were debating off and on whether it was ethical to consume cow milk or not, or calf food as I call it, and also eggs, and also honey sometimes. And so this discourse went on all the way through into the mid-1940s. Went through the First World War, disrupted by that of course, into the Second World War. And by the time we get to 1944, there was a small group of people who were known as the non-dairy vegetarians. Now these are the pioneers of our movement, even if they didn't know it at the time. So we're talking about Elsie Strigley, we're talking about Kathleen Janaway, Donald Watson, we got Leslie Cross, lots and lots of people, Arthur Ling, the Hendersons, loads and loads of people, even back. Now these were radicals for their time. They were free thinkers. They were often anti-establishment. Some of them were conscientious objectors because they said that they'll fight fires but they won't kill anyone. They won't kill anyone of any species, they said. So these were radicals for their time. And so in 1944, 2 of them, Elsie Strigley and Donald Watson, go to the Vegetarian Society and ask for them to set up a non-dairy section. And this point cannot be overemphasized, right? Because it still affects us now and it's to our great benefit. The vegetarians said no. Now, they weren't particularly rude, they just said, no, we want to do our own thing. So, if you want to do something else, something bigger, something better, you go and do it. And so, that's what actually happened. So, without any planning, and they didn't think this was going to happen, it was foisted on them in a way, these non-dairy vegetarians ended up running a brand spanking new social movement. And they kind of didn't know how to do it. And also, it was still the time of war. And it was still the time of rationing. So it was remarkable that they did that. The start was a little bit wobbly, but when we roll around to 1949, Leslie Cross said, you know, we don't have a definition of veganism. It's not been a problem so far, but moving forward it will be. So we need to get some work done and sort out the definition of veganism. We know what a vegan diet is, but not the philosophy of veganism. Going back to 1945, Donald Watson had a bit of a go because he declared that the object of the Vegan Society was to oppose the exploitation of sentient life. And he added, whether it's profitable to do so or not, this kind of ethos of profit, justice for profit, that kind of thing. So we get to 49, and then there is a search for veganism, which ends in 1954 with the publication of a remarkable philosophical essay by Leslie Cross, and it was called The Surge of Freedom. This is the final philosophical statement of vegan philosophy. Now, luckily, all of these things are still online, so you can read them. And Andy Atkinson, the vegan filmmaker, is also narrated them all, so you can hear them as well as read them. They're very remarkable. What we get then as the grounding for our movement is a radical move away from non-dairy vegetarianism. That goes out of the window really quick. We're a liberation movement. We're a radical abolitionist movement with the idea and philosophy of animal liberation at its core. This is a remarkably big, powerful, far-reaching movement as they saw it. So Cross talked about the two main aspects. Well, first of all, he said that we're not welfarists. He said that we're liberationists. We stand with the liberators. This is not about welfare, this is about abolition. And he said there's two broad aspects to veganism. The first one, I call this focus and scope. The first one is rather obvious. It's our relations with our fellow animals and what we want for them. What we want for them, which is their liberation, and we want the end of their oppression, we want the end of their exploitation. So that's the first broad aspect. The second broad aspect is about the moral evolution of humanity. Now, there's no doubt about it that the pioneers of our movement actually cared about humanity. They felt that humans had gone into a moral trough. We'd really hit rock bottom. They'd experienced at least one world war, some of them two. They were shattered by it. Some of them lost some great friends, and they wanted to know what had gone wrong with humanity. And we can still ask that same question. What has gone wrong with humanity? Just look around the world and see the shite that's going down. Okay, so we're still got a problem in terms of the moral evolution of humanity. This is what they want. In the end, Donald Watson declared that veganism was the only movement that can save humanity. He said that if vegan values became popular and widespread, it would represent the largest peaceful revolution ever known. It would start new businesses, it would shut down industries for the benefit of all. That sentiment was repeated in the 1990s by Kathleen Janaway. She talked about the vegan way. She said if the vegan way became popular and widespread, then our fellow animals will get their liberation. They will be free from exploitation and they will be free from oppression. But human warfare would also be abolished, and human poverty would also be abolished. This is a consistent theme to their work. She said, and this is a quote, veganism is as important as that. So going back to Cross then, and the surge of freedom. Now the thing about Leslie Cross is it's a bad mistake to cut little bits out, especially one single sentence. What you've got to do with Cross is read it in entirety. As I said, as Bubble and Andy has narrated them. So I'm just going to give you a flavour of the first 10 lines of the series. He said that he wrote the essay to state in simple terms what veganism is, how and why it came about, and to suggest what it could do for humanity. He said that veganism is a symbol for a huge change, a new mutation, he called it, a new mutation, comparable with the freeing of the serfs and the freeing of the slaves. This is a big idea. He said that the official definition, and I'll update the language, that humanity should live without exploiting our fellow animals is true and it's comprehensive, but it's not always fully understood, he said. And he said that that is understandable. And he said it's because very rarely have so few words, he counted 9, so few words encapsulate such a massive idea of veganism. If we could bring that into operation, he says, then everyone would be free. We'd have a new world and we'd have a new humanity to inhabit it. Donald Watson was always a bit more direct. Just before, well, a couple of years before his death, he wrote to Arthur Lynn, and he said, by definition, veganism claims to help animals and people. And the Vegan Society, and vegan activism by extension, must show the way how to bring this about. Now, in a couple of minutes I'm going to finish on that because it's a very important point. See, Watson and the early vegans have gone on a real journey. No longer dairy-free vegetarians. These were liberators with a radical vision of the future. It was the ultimate peace movement that they now saw themselves as running. And Watson also said, this is about 25 years in, he said, I come to the realization that the problems of the world will be solved together or they won't be solved. And he said, but the important part of that is that vegan values have got to be at the heart of that endeavour. If they're not at the heart of that endeavour, it's not going to work. And those sentiments were repeated later in Luxembourg by Steve Best, 2003, Total Liberation. He said, in David Nybert's terms, that yes, things are entangled. The entanglement of oppression and liberation. Everything is entangled and it'll all be solved together or it won't be solved. And he said that vegan values must be at the centre, at the heart of any endeavour. So just come to the end then, going back to Watson and us. What do we do to bring about what Watson wanted, which was this brilliant ultimate peace movement? He was always on about ripening people up. And he wrote that first in 1944. We must ripen people up to a new idea, this newfangled idea of veganism. Now this is vegan education. That's what he was talking about. We need vegan education. And I'm always inspired at this point by the words of Ronnie Lee, who's over there somewhere. Oh, that way. Because Ronnie's got this phrase, which some of us know all too well, to our cost, which is that we need vegan education everywhere and all the time. But it doesn't have to be the big set piece things. It doesn't have to be the big kind of corporate things. This could be grassroots, could be small scale, could be small groups, individuals, couples of people doing it. So Ronnie and I have got this playlist on my YouTube channel. We had this show called Still Alive. It was Ronnie's idea for the title. And we had a look at about 50 or 60 different ways of outreach. And we whittled them down to our favourite 10 or 15 or so. So those can be still seen there. But the fundamental point is that to get what Donald Watson wanted, we need to do more of what we've started to do. Vegan education is new. It's this century only. It didn't exist in the 20th century really. It's this century only, so we need a lot more of it. We need to as an academic, I would say we need to operate. I can say it now. Been a long time since I was an academic. We need to put it into operation. That's what we want. This is what Watson would have wanted. In a sense, this is our job. Our job, you people there, you people who are members of the Ultimate Peace Movement, you people who are liberators and not welfarists, you know, you people who are vegans in the 21st century, who can see clearly that we need liberation with animal liberation at its core. You are the ones who are needed to do that job. So people, my last word is, let's do our job. Let's get on with it. Cheers.
The truly remarkable Roger Yates there. So sadly, we come to the end of our day, here at least. I hope you're all inspired to get out there and do more activities, be more active, do more direct action, and let people know why we're here. Be as vocal as you possibly can, be as physical as you possibly can, and educate everybody as much as you can, as often as you can. Okay, so thank you very, very much for coming. I have one or two announcements to make, and then you are free to go about your lives until this time next year, when I expect to see you here with all of your friends and all of your family and all of your converts and everybody on the bloody planet here. So, at 4 p.m. in Victoria Gardens, Dominic Dyer is hosting a protest for the Turkish strays. If people do or don't know, at the moment Turkey are enacting a law where they will annihilate every single stray animal that there is. We need solidarity here to put pressure on the government over there to reverse their idea. So if you're available and if you haven't got to go home yet, please go to Victoria Gardens for 4 p.m. and help those people over there with their demonstration. Bear with me. Phone's gone flat and I can't see what's on it. I do know after here at 6 o'clock the Earthlings are also doing an outreach event, which is... Thank you very much.
I'm just going to quickly end the...
The Earthlings are also doing an event at 6 p.m. in Leicester Square. So if you're still around at 6 o'clock, please go and help them with some outreach and some education.
Yeah, definitely. Already interviewed earlier. Yeah, definitely. Should we speak to them?
At 7 p.m. here, for all of you people, especially for all of you lovely people, there is a comedy event, a comedy night, artist party at the Thenga Cafe, which is WC1, wherever that might be.
Should we do it on my phone?
It should be good. There's a lot of good comedians on there, and they are all vegan. So let's have a laugh, eh? At us. Funny.
You sure?
And finally, at the Love Shack, to celebrate our day, they are throwing a vegan after party.
Should we take the turn? So, do you want me to hold the camera first and I can ask people?
That event runs from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. So please, once you've finished educating people, once you've finished with your activities, and once we've changed the world just a little bit more, please come and celebrate at the Love Shack for the after party. Thank you so much for being here. I really look forward to seeing you again next year. Thank you to the speakers, thank you to the organisers, and thank you, each and every single one of you. I love you.
I have my watermark there, so mine at Louis Arrington. So,
I'm saying like you take the interview, I will hold
Do you
up.
know where the Victoria Gardens is? Because my phone's just frozen.
Sorry?
Turkish. Do you know where the Victoria Gardens is?
Yes, it's just 5 minutes.
Down the
You'll
road.
see the green over there, just on the, I think it's on the left side.
Okay,
So, no, it's too. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly. Sorry, this might be a bit heavy, or it might be quite good. Do you mind? Thank you so much. Okay, so yeah, we are currently down at Parliament Square in central London. We're going to speak to a few of the protesters here today. This protest has just ended, but if we walk this way, I'm going to try to speak to the organiser of the protest. He appears to be standing over there, so we're just going to make our way. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, remember to hit that bell notification button so you can stay notified whenever I go live. Also, we have a special guest on the live stream. He's another journalist from India I just met, and he's currently holding my camera, so a huge shout out to him. But we're going to walk up this way at the moment and speak to one of the organisers of this rally. But it has currently ended. Estimated numbers today were 1,000 people, and basically they marched all the way from Marble Arch near Speaker's Corner and ended up at Parliament Square. I'm just going to try... excuse me, sir. We're currently... Excuse me, sir. Would you mind saying a few words to the camera? We're currently on air, just
okay.
2 minutes of time. So
Sure,
if you don't mind telling my viewers what this protest is about and the demands that you want to see from the UK government.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason we're all here today, this is the National Animal Rights March. Sorry, Dan.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is the National Animal Rights March. We intend to do this every year. It's a massive show of solidarity for the vegan animal rights community. Really what we want to see is the end of use for all animals of all species. From this day forward, really, we know that it's not achievable today, but it is achievable, and we are here in number to prove that through education and through direct activism. More than that, I can't really add. We just hope that you'll join us, to pay more attention to the things that you do, the people you choose to wear, the people that you choose to eat. It's all very, very important. And there is a better way of living where nobody has to get hurt, nobody has to die, and we're here to promote that. Veganism is the ultimate peace movement, as Roger said.
Yeah.
More than that, I can't really add.
Sure. And in terms of the Prime Minister's response, what would you like to see from his government and change moving forward?
Now, that's a massive question. From this government, we would like to see them firstly to honour the agreements that they put forward in their manifesto. They have said that they will end the badger cull. At the moment, they're saying they're not going to do that until 2026. They have said that they will ban illegal hunting. It's been illegal for a very long time now, and it still happens. They have said that they will close the loopholes in the law and shut it down. As a SAB myself, I'm very much looking forward to that. We would like to see the end of animal experimentation. Animal experimentation has a 90% failure rate. And now, in this day and age, there are alternatives that have a 90% success rate. Using animals has always been wrong. It's never been the right option. Some people felt that it was the only option. Well, that's not true any longer. So that needs to go as well. All of it needs to go. We would like to see dietary conditions changed. We'd like to see a plant-based future being pushed purely and solely from our perspective, because that helps the rights of animals. Animals don't deserve to be brought into existence just purely to be exploited and then killed for human gain. So that is what we would ask this government to look into and make clean, just come through on the promises that they have made.
Now, I saw earlier that you guys were protesting and chanting outside two of the steakhouses near Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah.
Do you have demands that you want to see with steakhouses and shops in particular that sell meat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're not here to change the law. That's not what we're about. We're here to change people's minds. You know, state intervention is good. It all helps and everything else. But realistically, we just want people to think about the choices that they make. Most people don't really think about the things that they're doing, and we just want them to add more thought to their decisions. People stopped at Canada Goose as well as a couple of steakhouses. Obviously, animals are exploited for clothing. That should go. It's never been. We wouldn't consider that it's ever been necessary, but it certainly isn't necessary now.
Sure.
And the same with dietary conditions.
Sure. Thank you very much for your time on camera today. My name's Louis Errington. We're live on air, and that's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Perfect. That's very good. Do you want to speak to someone else now? Do you want to go speak to someone else, or do you reckon? Do you want to end it? Oh yeah. Do you want to do it now? Okay. Oh, if you're recording. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I'll close it. Are you recording now? Or? Yeah. And do you want me to send that to you as well? Because it saves recording. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, do you wanna? Should we? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Perfect. I'll close it now, and then we can. Yeah.
Just end the video.
End video. Yeah, I can. So it's a live stream, so I'm just gonna end it formally, basically. So yeah, just 2 seconds. Thank you so much for helping out there. Yeah.
No, I need your support for 2 minutes.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to quickly end it. It'll take like, yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so we just interviewed the organizer today. We're going to be ending this live stream now. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Louis Errington, and I hope you enjoyed this unbiased coverage of the Animal Rights March. There is a protest at Victoria. I think it's just down the road, so 5 minutes away. So just near Parliament. So we're going to head towards there and cover that fairly shortly. We also have some information that there is a planned Palestine protest. I think it's near, near Piccadilly Circus. I'll just read you guys the details quickly. So basically their demands is that they want to, so they're going to be protesting at 5 p.m. at Piccadilly Circus, and they want to rally there. So we're going to be covering 2 events fairly shortly. Stay tuned by hitting the bell notification button so you can get notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. Thank you once again for tuning into this live stream, and I hope you enjoyed. We're going to be ending, and then we'll start up a new one fairly shortly, probably within the next half hour. Stay tuned, everyone.